Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall is 20 minutes away from midnight on Tuesday night. Back with a lot of stuff for tomorrow for a change for a Wednesday. I normally just have the two on a Wednesday, possibly three, the biggest. I went through the cards at Cheltenham, and the last probably 3 hours, I had, and an hour before that, going through Ffos Las and Gowran Park. I've won at Gowran Park, one at Ffos Las, and I've a selection of the entire card, so take your pick. I normally don't do that, but it's just, there was something in every race sort of sticking out at the start. Then I got rid of that, and then something else came into the equation, and I don't know. I'll either be a genius or a bollocks after spending the hours I did at it, one or the other. Some would say I'm a bollocks anyway. Shout out to a couple of newcomers, Anthony Rindall, and Conor McKay in Barnsley. We had 3 runs today at the Craven meeting. First one off was Physique. He didn't show much of his physique. The danger at times is when a horse moves yards, that the first run and the third run are the two best runs. But I thought with this run the last day, that was saving a bit for today, that it could have been the plan. But it didn't show enough to me to sort of be running after it again. There's always a couple of horses at this time of the year. We've followed them after first run, and then they sort of disappoint, and they may, when they come down the ratings maybe by £5 or £6, they might pop up in July or August or September or whatever. There was one actually running today that I can't remember its name. It was running on the Go. We followed it a few times last year. It should be a prime example. Dropped in Trip, first time out for Willie Haggis. I was looking at that last night, but I thought 6 furlongs, that's just a prep for getting him up to a mile. But no, he's a bit of an engine. Michael Stout mustn't have spotted that. Then we had Salal. Broke last, wasn't off the yard today. You could see the drift just before the off as well, and the money came for the winner. Good performance from the first two that pulled so far away from the third. And then we had Persica, a little daisy for the bus. I have to say, it's third or fourth time it has won, and always at good prices. Likes a bit of cut on the ground. I was happy to see the rain. A minute that race was over, I was saying, would it ever be in the lock hinge at a mile on Newbury, and if it was a good bit of cut on the ground, and it is entered, I see. I had spotted that last night, but I just double checked to make sure I was thinking. But it's better on cut on the ground, but it's a grand little horse. So hopefully that's this time last year we came across, in the lock hinge we came across Sharian. The year before we were on Hookham all year, and there was another one as well, Kyprios. So a horse like Persica is something that we can follow with great justification this year. Anyway, on to tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, all day long. Gowran Park first is the mile 6 race, good to yield and good in places. There's a couple of Grappa Nonino. God, every time I think of that, I think of the night we got bet by a short head below in Sligo. Both of them bred by Michael Stud. If I'm correct, I am, yeah. Palamon was on the rail the last time they met, Grappa Nonino himself in Dundalk. That was over 2 miles. He is a £5 pull for, I think he'll turn the form around, Palamon on Grappa Nonino. I think there's an each way bet in it is Sioux Eagle for local trainer Pat Foley. Lightly raced. Ran 5th in a maiden. It's in Gordon first off. Handbrake on, no doubt. Got a rating of 68. Ran a couple of miles, but in his first handicap, 69. It's only beaten a length and a quarter last July, mile 6, good ground in Gordon, behind Influential Lady. Decent horses in that race. It was a good enough performance. First time in a handicap. I thought, what are we at here? We'll go to the right hand instead of the left. Then they put it into a maiden behind Mr. Percy and ran it over hurdles, was way down the field. It's just local trainers target that track. I thought it was about an 8-1 shot. That was an each way bet. That's all I could find at Gowran. 7-1. Because 11-2 in places now. So that's the each way bet. I see the 6:45 at Ffos Las here. This is a bit of a punt. Well, aren't all. But for Dan Skelton, this might be well handicapped. First time in a handicapped pony Soprano. If you look at it, it was third in a bumper first time out in Sandown to 6 Mile Bridge. Only beaten 9 lengths. 6 Mile Bridge is a decent horse. It'll be rated in the one. It was the horse that got disqualified there for having a drop of drink in him. Won a maiden hurdle then. But if you look at the horse that it beat, Sorcerer. Where are we? That was second there. Then that won its next 2 races to reach a mark of 122. And that betted handy enough that to buy a couple of lengths. So of mark of, what is it, 124. Tristan Durrell taking off 3. I thought to have the top weight in it, that's keeping the weight down for him. That might be an each way bet at 8-1, 3 places. On we go to Cheltenham. I couldn't make head nor tail of anything at Newmarket tomorrow. If I do spot something in the morning, I'll put it up for the flat lovers. But there was nothing without a run, I thought, in the first race, so it was only guesswork. If I do spot anything, I'll put it up. Willie has 2 in this tomorrow. Toad Hall. It's amazing all the times I've noticed down through the years that Malcolm Denmark, all his horses seem to break their maidens when they're like 8 or 9, and they're so lightly raced. Are they all fragile or what? Even when he won in Cheltenham with the nice guy, I think that's when he ran one since, did it? Lightly raced, but winning a maiden hurdle at 8 above in Down Royal. Sean O'Keefe is riding. Sean is 0 for 30 in the last 14 days, I think. Dr. Eggman, I thought he'd never win a race the way he was going. He won a sort of a race the last year, but I thought an each way bet in it at 11-2 was Jax Junior. This lad will pop out in front and he could be hard pegged back. He found the Albert Bartlett a bit rich from the last time, but he had won a couple of hosed up there on good ground, 10 lengths, 17 lengths, hopped out in front, and it was third then, beaten late on in Huntington, Calafeo and Fall. It's rated 137. That was my each way selection in that race. On to the 205, which is a 2 miles 4 handicap hurdle won last year by Doyen Quest, but it was in better form then. It went we were on it actually the day it won. 41.5 of 119. So it's a good bit higher in the weights. £12 higher. What did I come down on here? I came down on an each way bet on Really and Truthfully. 6-year-old gelding trained by Kim Bailey by Jetaway. This is learning as it's going along. Likely enough race. In Windsor that day, coming to the last, it was still in the lead and it jumped to the right and very cumbersome and clumsy, and guard duty was held up. But the ground, I thought, was against it as well. It's better on goodish ground. It showed the last day it won with his ears pricked on good ground. Now, it was entitled to because it was rated the best. But there's a bit more, I think, under the bonnet, besides the dipstick and the radiator. So, at a nice price, I think it was 12-1. The most likely winner is East India Express. That was 7th in the Martin Pipe. But what it took out of it, a race, well, it's a month ago, so it should be all right. Really and truthfully, 14-1, paying 4 places. East India Express, that was still up at the pace, coming to the last in the race won by Woodoo. I went for a value play each way, Really and Truthfully, under the 240. We have a bus horse in this, and to newcomers on the bus horse, the horse we tipped and won with the last time, and that is only a few days ago, Riskintheground. Now, there's a chance that they may not run this because it entered in a 25,000 race in Plumpton on Sunday, and I think it would be an easier pot. But if he could ever win this tomorrow, nearly 40 grand, besides going to Plumpton on Sunday, he'd hardly go to 2 of them, would he? But it won the other day, drifted out in price, but jeez, it won well. And I'll tell you, I only after watching this for the first time.
Running is done. Will carve it out through into 4th. Then Crebrillion Vintage Fizz. That was the last open ditch. Leader in the park was out in front, and when Fading Persian Time took a tumble, they head down towards 2 out. Leader in the park from Riskintheground. Leader in the park, Riskintheground. Will carve a wider out of them. Next in running Vintage Fizz, and then a 1-pace Ned Tanner. Riskintheground goes to the front as they approach the final fence in the Hill House Quarry. Handicap steeplechase, and it's the Skeleton runner, Riskintheground, a lovely fast fluent jump, gets away 5 clear. Will Carver is in 2nd. Vintage Fizz runs on into 3rd past the weakening leader in the park. It will be a double for Dan Skelton. This one partnered by Harry. Riskintheground.
So there's a 2-point 13-2 nap on Saturday. Classic Getaway has good form, but it's carrying a big weight. A Moore Park as well. Willie is sending them over. So if it runs, they'll be aiming to win the pot. Now, it's £5 out of the weights because it's carrying a £5 penalty. It was off 127 the last day. So that'll bring him up to 132. 132, and he's I'm very sure he's £5 wrong. They're saying 2 there, but that's if he's put up £8. Anyway, we'll stay loyal to the bus horse. On to Handicap Chase 3.5 mile. Yesterday won. Wasn't that a 4-mile race? He won. Regard after wins operation, money down the last day, won. But the fact that Jumping Jet has been sent over by Gordon Elliott, This is a stayer, and it likes good ground. It won the Ulster National last year. She did. But she had plenty of... She was on the go a good while. She was fit of 121. This year, they seem to be aiming for that race as well. But things didn't go to plan, I thought, in the race forward. And the fact that they're bringing it... How much UK tax have they? 124. Only £1 higher. It's a big price. Paying 4 places. The fact that he's bringing it over... he's not rocking that well in Cheltenham, but slightly enough raised. Illico Decote or Decote for the skeletons as well. They'll be trying. Handbrake will be off onto the 550, the 350. I think this is the skeleton's best chance of winning tomorrow. Mr. Hope Street. 3-1 is a nice enough price because he's shorter everywhere else. This is up to 3 mile. And if you look, when 2.5 mile on good to soft, 1 on soft, but it hosed up here between Tuna Warrior at 3 mile, 2.5, but the last day went off second Fav in a decent enough race, and Gypcott got first run, and he just got into a bit of bother but ran on to the line to suggest that bringing it back up and trip again
whatever the moment,
is a
it's
positive.
never ordinary at Bet365. Street on the inside. Get a lead is next. Jimco being nursed into it. Here's 2 out now. Mr. Bramley with a bold leap there as the leader as they go between the last 2 flights here. Jipco is moving up now and looks threatening in second place. Battling on behind them in the green jacket is Spirit Danu. They're coming towards the final flight. Mr. Bramley taken on now by Jipco, who draws alongside, and Jipco has been nursed to the front here. Great style by Keelan Woods and is scampering clear in the closing stages. He's opened up by 6 or 7 lengths. It's like he's jumped in this one. Jipco has absolutely put this race to bed effortlessly. It looked competitive on paper, but he's hacked up on the Keelan Woods. A double.
Staying on nicely there. Extra half a mile a plus. The 425 is a 3 miles 2 handicap chase. Now, Marauder that won the Grimthorpe is in this. Mr. The Nip Hand was second, that lost his life in the Scottish National, and staying on third was Hymac, and Hymac won last year in Cheltenham. It won that previous race at 3.5. I'd make this sort of the best bet at Cheltenham tomorrow, I thought. Come back from a break there, ran behind Marauder, but it ran on well on a flat track like Doncaster. I think the hill will bring out the best of it. Ran well behind a Buffalo Soldier there before. It won that last year on good ground, the previous race we're looking at there. Second run, give it stick. Coming to the last race of the day, Handicap Hurl. Looks like one that was laid out for the race. Fergal O'Brien, didn't he win that last year? He did. With 10-10-10. And we were back that a couple of weeks ago. The old 10-10-10, 10-10-20. Liverpool Night. Rated 120. Now this used to be on the flat. It was with Johnny G at the start, rated one, 83. Then I went to Defoy, won a race there of 78. Then I went to, oh no, that was Talon King. Then I went to Defoy, won a race of 81. Went to Ali Murphy, won a couple of races. Good ground, bet Castel Gandalfo, that's a decent enough yardstick. I switched yards again, then gone to Fergal O'Brien. Didn't stay, I thought, the last, which was a good round. That was in the middle of December. Looks like it has waited for the better ground. Back end trip. Handbrake off. Major help. 10, 11 to 1 there. Paying 5 places. Anyway. I didn't even look at the next day, but I'll pay more attention if I can to the Craven meeting. If I spot anything in the morning from Newmarket, I'll stick it in. Put this into the oven now. It's exactly midnight. Bash the bookies over and out. Now that's the wrong. I done the wrong thing there. Says, you know, it's midnight. I'm not doing the right thing. Now, here we go. Bash the bookies over and out.